let's look at a couple more example problems where we need to find the volume of a sphere or the volume of some type of ball. Now, remember that the formula for the volume of a sphere, where V is the volume, is equal to 4/3 multiplied by pi, that's circle constant, which is approximated by 3.14, multiplied by the radius to the third power, where again, r is just measuring the radius of this sphere. So to use this formula, we essentially just need to figure out what the radius is. And then we can plug that in and simplify. And our answer can be either in terms of pi, which will give us the exact answer, or we can use 3.14 to approximate it and get some type of decimal answer, but that will no longer be the exact answer. So we will use just this symbol pi rather than actually rounding it. But like I mentioned, if you do want to see what it roughly is as a decimal, then you can replace pi with 3.14. So the radius here, the distance from the center of the sphere to the sphere, is 9 in this case, which we can set equal to r and then plug that into this formula. Now we have that the volume is 4/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by 9, which is the radius, raised to the third power. And if we simplify this, we have 4/3 pi multiplied by 9 to the third, and this is 9 times 9 times 9. 9 times 9 is 81. 81 times 9 gives us 729. And we can simplify this a little bit since we can actually divide 729 by 3. So we have 4 times pi. And if we divide this into 729, we can do a little bit of division here. 3 goes into 7 twice. We have 1 left over. 3 goes into 12 4 times. There's nothing left over. And 3 goes into 9 3 times. So we can rewrite this as 4 pi multiplied by 243. And now we can multiply 4 and 243 and then multiply that by pi. And 4 times 200 is 800. 4 times 40 is 160, so that brings us to 960. 4 times 3 is 12. 960 plus 12 is 972. And we'll multiply all of this by pi. So this is the volume of this sphere, and we weren't told any explicit units, so we can just say this has cubic units. Now let's do one more example problem where we need to find the volume of this sphere here, and we'll use that same formula, that the volume is 4/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by the radius cubed. And in this case, it looks like the radius, the length from the center to the actual sphere, is equal to 5. And if we plug that in, we have the volume is 4/3 pi multiplied by 5 to the third power. And 5 to the third power, 5 times 5 times 5, is 125. And if we multiply that by 4, that would give us 500. So we have 500 pi divided by 3. And since you can't simplify this any further, you could rewrite it as a decimal or a mixed number, but 3 does not go into 500 evenly. So let's leave this as an improper fraction. And we will also leave it with pi in the answer so that we have an exact answer, since we know if we plug in 3.14 that we'd be rounding this. So again, we don't have units here, and we can just say that this is how many cubic units that takes up the inside of the shape. This is the volume of our sphere.